In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's...
Few conspiracy theories have been as enduring as those surrounding the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Intriguing and seductive as they are, do they obscure evidence that would otherwise be staring us in the face? Evidence that Lee Harvey Oswald carried out the assassination, and that he acted alone. Oswald is often portrayed as a naive or even heroic fall guy, caught up in a web of dark and sinister forces. But conspiracy skeptics claim that compelling facts about him are ignored or willfully omitted from the historical record. Oswald had a troubled childhood. As a truant, he was evaluated psychologically and found to have schizoid tendencies, with often violent fantasies of power and omnipotence. These fantasies were only likely to have been reinforced by his disastrous service in the U.S. Marine Corps. When he wasn't being bullied by other soldiers, he was being court-martialed for transgressions against authority, including striking an officer. Ominously, the only thing he excelled at in the Marines was shooting. He regularly scored in the top percentile of the U.S. Army and was designated a sharpshooter. Oswald deluded himself that he was a man of great importance and that his defection to Russia in October 1959 would bring him the recognition he felt that he deserved. Instead, he was assigned a life every bit as humdrum and anonymous as the one he had in the U.S. His high opinion of himself never wavered. When he returned home, he had prepared himself for a reception committee of reporters and was outraged that only his family had come to meet him. Marina, his Russian wife, bore the brunt of his frustrations. Friends testified that he beat her regularly. At the time of the assassination, they were living apart due to his brutality. Oswald continued to live in a fantasy world. He had an alias, Alec Heidel, under which he ordered the weapons used in Dallas. He believed himself to be a political revolutionary of some sort, or, as he called himself, a hunter of fascists. He began his hunt with an attempted assassination that predated the Kennedy killing by some 7 months. General Edwin Walker was a firebrand segregationist with political ambitions. His public profile made him a prime target for a wannabe political hitman like Oswald. In April 1963, after some surveillance, Oswald fired through Walker's window. Believing he had killed the general, he escaped home and excitedly told his wife, to whom he had earlier left a note detailing what she should do in the event of him being captured or killed. However, an imperfection in the window pane at Walker's house saved the general from assassination. Much has been made of the circumstances surrounding Oswald's securing of a job at the Texas Schoolbook Depository, from where the fatal shots were fired on Kennedy. In fact, he got the job before Kennedy's visit was announced. The job was found for him by Ruth Payne, a Quaker who had taken pity on the Oswalds, in particular Marina. There is no suggestion that Payne was part of a shadowy organization or conspiracy. Oswald visited the Payne house, where Marina was staying, unannounced, the night before the assassination. His rifle was stored in their garage. It had been removed by the next day. Following Kennedy's assassination, Oswald's prints were found at the sniper's nest on the 6th floor of the Texas Schoolbook Depository. Modern scientific testing seems to prove beyond doubt that this was the location, and the only location, from which shots were fired. Oswald's rifle has been established as the weapon that killed Kennedy, to the exclusion of all others. Oswald's revolver has been established, to the exclusion of all others, as the weapon that killed Officer J.D. Tippit, a Dallas policeman who attempted to apprehend Oswald later that day. It was in his possession when he was arrested. Several witnesses to the shooting, identified Oswald as the shooter without hesitation. Throughout the historic assassination weekend, Oswald was calm and smug whilst in captivity. Police, and even his family, said that he seemed pleased with himself, enjoying every moment of his newfound notoriety. It cannot be totally discounted that perhaps there was a conspiracy. Some theories are credible as theories, others are preposterous with an impractical cast of thousands. No clear evidence has ever come to light validating any of them, in whole or in part. Oswald the man, far from being mysterious, is in plain sight, a maladjusted loner with delusions of grandeur and violent tendencies. The budding revolutionary assassin, with a yearning for a place in history, found himself with a window overlooking a presidential parade route, a literal shot at immortality. It was an opportunity too good to miss.